Hey guys, today is Sunday, June 13th, 2021, and we wanted to take you with us on our little adventure today to Little Green Brier and Foothills Parkway. There's a section of the Foothills Parkway that had not been finished when we lived up here last, so we thought we would just go out there and check it out. So, enjoy. And for those of you who aren't aware of what Little Green Brier is, it's the name of a former Appalachian community that's now an historical area in the Great Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. The community was situated in a hollow rising from Metcalf Bottoms along Little River to the upper slopes of Cove Mountain in the northeastern section of the national park. Little Green Brier was once known simply as Green Brier, but the little was added to its name to distinguish it from the larger Green Brier located between near Mount LeConte. Okay, right here we're heading towards the Little Greenbrier Schoolhouse. Also, we had some famous folks that lived up this road. They were actually in the Saturday Night Evening Post. The Walker sisters. And we didn't go to their cabin in their land, but hopefully one day we'll go back. Hopefully when snakes aren't out as in force as they were today. But the one thing you'll notice is this is supposedly a 2-lane road. And you guys can check this out, but I haven't seen anything on this road where I thought 2 vehicles could pass. One of us may or may not have hit this tree stump in front of us. I won't tell you who was driving, but it wasn't me. No damage, though. But we both got a laugh out of it. So this is the little Green Brier schoolhouse. It was built in 1882, and it functioned as the community school until 1936. Over its 54-year history, it was used as a schoolhouse under the supervision of nearly 50 teachers. And at one time, it was a house of worship for Primitive Baptist Church. Up on the hill, you'll see that cemetery. We didn't include footage of that, but the cemetery was kind of interesting. It's pretty representative of Appalachian cemeteries, though. It's always awkwardly constructed on a slope, but nearly half of the graves of those are children. But what we're approaching here is the schoolhouse, and I want you to note the size of the lumber, the size of the trees that must have been used to have constructed this schoolhouse. In about a mile from here, I'll let you enjoy the view of the schoolhouse, but it's very well preserved. But about a mile from here is the Walker sisters' place. And it was the home of 5 spinster sisters who refused to sell their 166 acres to the National Park Service. And they actually maintained their traditional mountain life into the 1950s. In 1946, I referenced that Saturday Evening Post article, and of course it drew a lot of visitors to the area. But the National Park Service did assume control of the land when the last of the Walker sisters died in 1964. As I said, we're going to go back probably when it's cooler weather and there's not so many snakes out. We hear that there's quite a bit of rattlesnake activity up on their property, and we just decided now was not the time to go. This is a picture of Metcalf Bottoms, and this is a picture of the sink area. So now we're going to be going along the Foothills Parkway. This is some video that we took while we were there. It was kind of a hazy day. It was hot today. It was probably upper 80s when we were out here, so you can see it was very hazy. This is a view looking towards Blount County. You can see pretty much most of Blount County from here. The next is a picture of Chilhowie Lake, and we're back on the parkway here. But a little bit about Chilhowie Lake. It provides the boundary between the Great Smoky National Park and Cherokee National Forest. And it's more like a cool water reservoir. Well, it's more river-like, actually, even though it's a reservoir. There's also a dam there, and that dam was completed in 1957. And that lake definitely, it borders the southern entrance of the Foothills Parkway and nearby Abrams Creek. And we're going to speed up some of this video here on the next section. This is the Foothills Parkway again, so just sit back and enjoy. Just a little bit of info about the Foothills Parkway, though. It's been in the work for about 75 years. They finish it just in bits and pieces as they can. They think that there might be another 20 years to completion at this point in time. There's like a 33.5 mile section that they haven't started yet, and that's because they don't have funding for. The last section, though, of this parkway was actually finished in December of 2018, and it's the section that runs from Wallen to Wares Valley. So we'll be taking you through that for those of you who haven't seen that stretch of road yet. You'll also notice later on, you'll see a lot of motorcycles starting to pass us. Definitely we were in the minority today, being in an SUV. Most of the other tourists that we saw today were on motorcycles. This road, the edge of the road that runs to Chilhowie Lake, is not that curvy or steep. It's actually pretty straight. But the new section that runs from Walland to Wares Valley is actually very curvy, and so you have a lot of motorcycles that end up wanting to pass you, and of course we happily oblige for them. You saw some motorcyclists there on the left, and you'll see some more before this video is done. Luckily, I'm sparing you the sound of the motorcycles, but you can imagine how loud it was. Again, we are speeding this up a little bit. There's going to be a couple of really beautiful shots here that we captured. So, and they'll be on the right-hand side of the screen. We went to Cove today, and we don't have any video of it. It was a madhouse. We went very early in the morning. We did get to see 2 bears. One was actually standing up on its hind legs, but the traffic just came to an absolute halt. But I was a little slow on the trigger, so I didn't catch any photos of those. But we're going to go back to Cades Cove, hopefully when it gets cooler, or maybe in the middle of the week when there's not so many tourists there, not so much traffic. But I promise you, we saw 2 bears. No elk, like we had seen a couple of weeks ago. But I'm sure they were there. They just didn't, we weren't there at the right time of day. There go those motorcyclists. Told you they were coming. Oh, just got passed by one. I think we're going to get passed by 2 or 3 more here. There's plenty of overlooks through this stretch for you guys to stop and look. And on both sides of the road, which are really nice. But we're going to get out here and snap a couple of photos. It was a beautiful view from this area. And no, we don't walk that fast in real life. Again, this video was sped up a little bit. We did see a couple of like regular bicyclists on this road, and they were definitely, we were in awe. I don't think that I would have wanted to ridden a bicycle up here. But this is the area where you're going to see some beautiful pictures or views off to the right. We wish that the Foothills Parkway would actually put up elevation signs here. We can only guess. I didn't look at the elevation for the Foothills Parkway, but it wasn't as high as Newfound Gap or close. We're starting our descent now. Our next turn will be where the parkway ends. We have to make a decision on which way we want to turn, so we're going to head back towards Townsend. We hope you guys have enjoyed our trip today. Again, it was a beautiful, hot June day. And we'll come back up here and hopefully see some more of the Green Brier School before long.